Hi everybody. Welcome back to LA, the ideal English school. In this lesson, we're going to focus on the past simple tense, one of the 16 tenses, and we're going to look at the active and passive voice of this tense. We're also going to compare the past simple tense with some other tenses. Let's look at all the 16 tenses again. The present simple tense, the present continuous tense, the present perfect tense, the present perfect continuous tense. The past simple tense, the past continuous tense, the past perfect tense, the past perfect continuous tense. The future simple tense, the future continuous tense, the future perfect tense, the future perfect continuous tense. The past future simple tense, the past future continuous tense, the past future perfect tense, the past future perfect continuous tense. Now let's focus on the past simple tense. Active voice, taught. Passive voice, was, or were, taught. The active past simple tense is formed by using verb to, or past tense. Active voice, affirmative. First person singular, I bought a car 2 days ago. First person plural, we bought a car 2 days ago. Second person singular or plural, you bought a car 2 days ago. Third person singular, Tom bought a car 2 days ago. Third person plural, they bought a car 2 days ago. Note that when you is used to refer to the person that you are speaking or writing to, it is singular, but when you is used to refer to the people that you are speaking or writing to, it is plural. The negative of the past simple tense is formed by using did not, plus verb 1, or the base form. The contraction, didn't, can be used instead of did not. For example, I told him becomes, I did not tell him. Or, I didn't tell him. The interrogative of the past simple tense is formed by using did, plus subject, plus verb 1, or the base form. For example, you told him becomes, did you tell him? The past simple tense. Active voice. Affirmative, I gave you this book. Negative, I did not give you this book. Interrogative, did I give you this book? We passed the exam. We did not pass the exam. Did we pass the exam? You told me about it. You did not tell me about it. Did you tell me about it? They went to Bali yesterday. They didn't go to Bali yesterday. Did they go to Bali yesterday? Tom and Ava sold their car. Tom and Ava didn't sell their car. Did Tom and Ava sell their car? He saw her last night. He didn't see her last night. Did he see her last night? Ava came here yesterday. Ava didn't come here yesterday. Did Ava come here yesterday? It rained last night. It didn't rain last night. Did it rain last night? The past simple tense is used. 1. To talk about completed actions that happened in the recent past or the distant past. For example, I saw him a few minutes ago. Recent past. Dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. Distant past. We bought this house 30 years ago. I got an email from him the other day. The other day means, a few days ago. They lived there for 20 years. I got up at 6 o'clock this morning. What did you have for breakfast yesterday morning? I had juice, cereal, toast, and coffee for breakfast. We spent 2 weeks in Rome seeing all the sights. He cut the cake into 6 pieces. He took us to the airport. When did he call you? He called me about 10 minutes ago. It rained all night. 2. To talk about repeated actions or habits in the past. For example, he visited his uncle every weekend. We went to the same restaurant every Saturday. When I was young, I played video games every day after school. When we were young, we stayed up late on Fridays. He always drank coffee for breakfast. We visited China 3 times last year. 3. To talk about a series of completed actions in the past. For example, she came in, changed her clothes and went out again. He came home, took a long hot bath and went right to bed. He stood up, lit a cigarette and walked out of the room. I got up at 7 o'clock, took a shower, had breakfast, and went to work. She cooked dinner, set the table, served wine, and ate with us. He came in, sat down, and ordered a black coffee. A black coffee means, a cup of coffee without milk. 4. To talk about someone who is dead. For example, his grandfather went to Paris twice. Leonardo painted the Mona Lisa. First action or second action. The past simple tense is used to say that one thing happened after another. When clauses always happen first, when both clauses are in the past simple tense. When I offered a reward, she revealed an important piece of information. Or, she revealed an important piece of information when I offered a reward. Means, first, I offered a reward, and then, she revealed an important piece of information. First action, past simple, offered. Second action, past simple, revealed. When she revealed an important piece of information, I gave her a reward. Or, I gave her a reward when she revealed an important piece of information. Means, first, she revealed an important piece of information, and then, I gave her a reward. First action, past simple, revealed. Second action, past simple, gave. When he saw me, he waved. Or, he waved when he saw me. Means, first, he saw me, and then, he waved. First action, past simple, saw. Second action, past simple, waved. When he arrived, we had dinner. Or, we had dinner when he arrived. Means, first, he arrived, and then, we had dinner. First action, past simple, arrived. Second action, past simple, had. To say that one thing happened after another, we can also use the past perfect tense for the first action, and the past simple tense for the second action. I had gone to bed when the phone rang. Means, first, I went to bed, and then, the phone rang. First action, past perfect, had gone. Second action, past simple, rang. When she had finished her homework, she went to bed. She had cooked dinner before I got home. I had eaten dinner before you came here. The party had hardly started when she left. After he had gone, I came in. I went out with some friends after I had finished my homework. With already, and just, we use the past perfect tense, not the past simple tense. When you called me, I had already eaten dinner. Don't say, when you called me, I already ate dinner. First action, past perfect, had eaten. Second action, past simple, called. The movie had already begun by the time we got to the theater. She had just stepped into her office when the telephone rang. I just started to cook dinner when the phone rang. He just got into the bathtub when the phone rang. We often use the past simple tense and the past continuous tense together to say that something happened in the middle of something else. Our mother was watching television when we arrived. I was walking home when I met him. We were eating dinner when the telephone rang. I was sleeping when my son came home. When you called me, I was taking a nap. He burned his hand when he was cooking dinner. I bought a magazine while I was waiting for the train. They arrived while we were having dinner. She dropped her cell phone while she was getting into her car. I found these photos while I was cleaning out my cupboards. While they were playing outside, it started to rain. Jim called while we were having dinner. I hurt my back while I was working in the garden. While I was working in the garden, I hurt my back. Notice the difference in meaning of these sentences. With the past simple tense and past perfect tense. When he ended his speech, everyone left. Means, everyone left after he ended his speech. When he ended his speech, everyone had left. Means, everyone left before he ended his speech. With the past simple tense and past continuous tense. When Ellie arrived, we had dinner. Means, first, Ellie arrived, and then, we had dinner. When Ellie arrived, we were having dinner. Means, we had already started dinner before Ellie arrived, and she arrived while we were having dinner. The present perfect tense or the past simple tense. Compare. Present perfect. Have you talked to Tom this morning? It's still morning. Past simple. Did you talk to Tom this morning? It is now afternoon or evening. I've read 2 books today. I read 3 books yesterday. I've just bought a new cell phone. I bought it the other day. They've lived in Palembang for 5 years. They still live there. He lived in Jakarta for 20 years. Now he lives in Palembang. We've had the car for 5 years. We still have it. We had the car for 5 years. We no longer have it. He's gone away. He'll be back the day after tomorrow. He went away but I think he's back at home now. She's called me 3 times so far. She called me 3 hours ago. Have you seen her this week? Did you see her last week? Is Jim still here or has he left? When did Jim leave? I've had the pains for 3 weeks now. I started to get the pains 3 weeks ago. It has stopped raining now. It isn't raining anymore. It stopped raining for a while, but now it's raining again. She has visited your country 3 times. Her brother visited your country twice in 2017. Her brother has never visited London. He is still alive. Her father never visited London. He is dead. My father has written many books. He still writes books. Shakespeare wrote many books. He is dead. The past simple tense with the verb be as the main verb. The past tense forms of be must be used to form the past simple tense, when there isn't any other verb. Let's take a look at the sentences below. The verb be is not used in the sentences on the left, because each of them already has a verb, but the verb be is used in the sentences on the right, because none of them has any other verb. The past simple tense. You looked terrible yesterday. Looked is a verb. Therefore, the verb be is not used. You were sick yesterday. Sick is not a verb. It's an adjective. Therefore, the verb be is used. I got an email from him a few minutes ago. I was in my office an hour ago. We went to the party last night. We were at the party last night. My uncle went to New York 2 months ago. He was there for 5 days. She danced beautifully last night. She was happy. The bus came 10 minutes late. The bus was 10 minutes late. My dog drank some milk this morning. It was hungry. They lived in a very small house. They were very poor at that time. The past tense forms of be, are, was, and were. Was is used for the first person singular and the third person singular. Were is used for the second person singular or plural, and also for the first or third person plural. The negative of the past simple tense with be is formed by adding not after the verb be. The interrogative of the past simple tense with be is formed by putting be before the subject. The past simple tense with the verb be as the main verb. First person singular. Affirmative, I was his student. Negative, I was not his student. Interrogative, was I his student? First person plural. We were his students. We weren't his students. Were we his students? Second person singular. You were his student. You were not his student. Were you his student? Second person plural. You were his students. You weren't his students. Were you his students? Third person singular. He was my student. He was not my student. Was he my student? She was my student. She wasn't my student. Was she my student? Jim was her student. Jim was not her student. Was Jim her student? Third person plural. They were my students. They weren't my students. Were they my students? The active and passive voice of the past simple tense. Active sentence. The subject, or the doer of the action. I. Verb 2, or the past tense. Washed. The object, or the recipient of the action. My car. I washed my car. The subject, or the doer of the action. He. Verb 2, or the past tense. Washed. The object, or the recipient of the action. His car. He washed his car. Only transitive verbs can be used in the passive voice. The passive voice of the past simple tense is formed by was, or were, plus past participle. Passive sentence. The subject, or the recipient of the action. His car. Was, or were, plus verb 3, or the past participle. Was washed. By, plus the agent, or the doer of the action. By him. His car was washed by him. Now let's look at the past tense of regular verbs. Verb 1, the base form, or the infinitive. Live. Verb 2, or the past tense. Lived. Verb 3, or the past participle. Lived. Jump, jumped, jumped. Kick, kicked, kicked. Dry, dried, dried. Stay, stayed, stayed. Plan, planned, planned. Explain, explained, explained. Travel, traveled, traveled. In British English, this word is spelled T, R, A, V, E, L, L, E, D. Admit, admitted, admitted. Next, let's take a look at the past tense of irregular verbs. Verb 1, the base form, or the infinitive. Bend. Verb 2, or the past tense. Bent. Verb 3, or the past participle. bent, bet, 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 bite, bit, bitten, break, broke, broken, blow, blew, blown, catch, caught, caught, choose, chose, chosen, fly, flew, flown, grow, grew, grown. Active voice. Subject, or doer of the action, plus, verb to, or past tense, plus object, or recipient of the action. John cleaned the window. Passive voice. Subject, or recipient of the action, plus was, or were, plus verb 3, or past participle, plus by, plus agent, or doer of the action. The window was cleaned by John. The active voice is generally preferred to the passive voice. For example, she bought a new cell phone a few days ago. She cleaned the windows this morning. Did your father drink any coffee this morning? I didn't see him last night. He told me yesterday. Did you have a good time at the party? The passive voice is used, especially when we want to emphasize the object, or the recipient of the action, or when the doer of the action is unknown, unimportant, obvious, etc. Therefore, the doer of the action, or the agent, is often omitted in the passive sentence. For example, my bike was stolen yesterday. The letter was delivered at 10 a.m. He was arrested last night. An important file was deleted. In this case, we focus on the fact that an important file was deleted. We do not want to blame anyone, and therefore, we do not mention who did the action. If we want to show the agent, we use by, plus agent. For example, my room was painted by my younger brothers. My car was washed by Tom. Now, do this exercise. Directions: for each question, there are 4 choices, and only one of them is correct. Write down the correct answers on a piece of paper. You have 2 minutes to complete this exercise. Check your answers. Question 1. C. Waved. When he saw me, he waved. Question 2. A. Turned. When he realized I was looking at him, he turned away. Question 3. A. Ate. She ate a lot of sweets when she was a child. Question 4. B. Has. Is Jim still here or has he left? Question 5. C. Was. When was your car stolen? Question 6. D. Was getting. She dropped her cell phone while she was getting into her car. Question 7. A. Had. When Ellie arrived, we had dinner. Means, first, Ellie arrived, and then, we had dinner. Question 8. D. Had already eaten. When you called me, I had already eaten dinner. Question 9. A. Still morning. Have you talked to Tom this morning? It's still morning. Question 10. B. Started. I started to get the pains 3 weeks ago. Well, that's the end of this lesson. Thanks for watching. If you like this video lesson, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to our channel.